Welcome back to the podcast. This is episode 7. And today we're talking about one of the most important roles in sports, the team captain.
Today, what the f*** are you willing to give up? What the f*** are you willing to get up? Ask yourself that right now. What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to give up? Put it out on the line. Put it out on the line. From the first snap to the last snap. They don't belong on the field with us. They do not. Let's bury. From the first snap to the last snap, I'm going out on my shield. This is our year. This is our year. I love it. 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 Yeah! Get here right now. Get here. Hey, we got 30 minutes for the rest of our lives. 30 minutes for the rest of our lives. That's our man first down. It ain't happening. We get the ball. I promise you one thing. We're going to hit somebody. We're taking downfield for a touchdown. I guarantee you that.
By saying that, the only team, and I mean the only team, that can beat the Wildcats is who? The Wildcats. The Wildcats.
Call it, Captain.
All right, listen up. Until we can close that portal, our priority is containment. Barton, I want you on that roof, eyes on everything, call out patterns and strays. Stark, you got the perimeter. Anything gets more than 3 blocks out, you turn it back or you turn it to ash.
Give me a lift?
Right.
But before we get into this video, I wanted to give you guys a heads up on my upcoming videos. I'm going to be diving deeper into interviews with lacrosse players, going to places like Lacrosse Unlimited, and asking people coming from tournaments on any levels of lacrosse, as well as the workers, and questioning them and doing more of those segments and trying to get into different topics and certain things and speak lacrosse, as well as talking to coaches and parents and diving deeper into the interviews. I want to kind of split up the interviews and the podcast on 2 different playlists on YouTube, as well as spread it to my Instagram as well as my TikTok, which is right here. But I wanted to let you guys know I was really excited about that, but let's get into today's video. Now, the team captain. Whether you're playing lacrosse, football, basketball, soccer, hockey, really any sport, any team sport, captains play a big role in determining how successful a team can be. There were a lot of times where I've seen a lot of talent but no leadership, and not a lot of talent and leadership, and not a lot of talent with leadership succeed farther than the talent without leadership. Whether you're playing lacrosse, football, basketball, soccer, hockey, really any other team sport, captains play a big role in determining how much success a team can have. They help create culture, build trust, motivate teammates, and often serve as the voice of the team. But what makes a great captain? Now, in the last video, I talked about what makes a great player. But there is a big difference between a great player and a great captain. But to get back on track, what makes a great captain? And what can lacrosse players learn from leaders in other sports? And that's exactly what we are going to be exploring today. The meaning of being a captain. Many people think being captain simply means being the best player on your team. That's not always true. Some of the greatest captains in history weren't necessarily the most talented athletes on their teams. What separated them was their ability to influence others. A captain's job is to make everyone around them better. In lacrosse, captains are often responsible for communicating with coaches, helping teammates stay focused, as well as resolving conflicts and setting the tone during games and practice. When younger players join a team, they often look at the captains to understand what is expected. They watch how captains behave during difficult moments and how they respond to criticism and how they treat their teammates. That means leadership is happening all the time, not just during games. A captain's actions become the standard for everyone else. Leading by example. One of the most common phrases in sports is to lead by example. The reason coaches say this so often is because players are much more likely to copy what they see than what they hear. Imagine a lacrosse captain telling teammates to work harder during conditioning drills while they themselves are jogging through the workout. The message immediately loses credibility. Now imagine the opposite. Picture a captain sprinting through the drill, diving for ground balls, staying after practice to improve, and giving maximum effort every day. This is something we see across all sports. In football, quarterbacks often become leaders because the work they put in behind the scenes. They spend hours watching film.
Obviously, my first play here was a scramble to the left. Somebody just came straight through the line. But it was good because it got me into a rhythm, got me going, and it's my first day back in the Kelly Green uniforms. That was really sweet.
Coming on a blitz. McCoy picks him up. Vic trying to make it happen. Has room to run. In front of Barnett. And out of bounds inside the 5.
And their teammates notice. When players see their leader putting in extra effort, they're more willing to do the same. The same principle applies in lacrosse. Captains earn respect through consistency. They don't just work hard when coaches are watching. They work hard because it's who they are. Now, communication. That is the heart of leadership. Another critical responsibility of a captain is communication. Great teams communicate consistently. In basketball, point guards frequently act as leaders because they're consistently communicating offensive sets and defensive assignments. For instance, Rajon Rondo.
Shot blocked by Horford. Here's Rondo. He scores! Buzzer! A stutter as the Lakers come to Boston and defeat the Celtics on a last-second shot by the one-time Celtic, Rajon Rondo.
Tony Allen bumps James, stolen by Davis. Ahead to Rondo. Rondo, one man to beat, swoops back to Allen, pretty pass, and the finish. Rajon Rondo with his 9th assist of the afternoon.
Understanding, making the right decisions. I see you, Mr. James. Drops it off to Allen. Great read by Rondo.
He just has such a feel for the game.
If Rondo really was experienced in
Lacrosse is no different. Speed of the game requires consistent communication. Defenders need to call out slides. Midfielders need to communicate matchups. Attack players need to recognize opportunities and reply information quickly. Captains help make sure these conversations happen. But communication isn't only about strategy. It's also about relationships. Good captains know how to talk to different teammates. Some players need encouragement. Some need confidence. Some need honest feedback. Some need criticism. But the best captains understand that leadership isn't about saying the same thing to everybody. It's about understanding what each teammate needs in order to succeed. Now, handling pressure and adversity, that's one of the biggest tests of leadership because it happens when things go wrong. It's easy to be positive when your team is winning by 5 goals. It's much harder when you're losing. Every season brings adversity. Maybe your team loses an important game. Maybe injuries affect the roster. Maybe expectations aren't being met. During these moments, teammates naturally look towards their leaders. This is where captains become incredibly important. Think about hockey. Hockey captains often face high-pressure situations where games can change instantly. The best leaders remain composed no matter what's happening. They don't panic. They don't blame teammates. They don't lose control of their emotions. Instead, they focus on situations. Lacrosse captains should be the same. When mistakes happen, great leaders ask, What can we do next? How do we respond? How do we improve? The ability to remain calm under pressure can completely change the energy of the team. Emotions spread quickly in sports. If a captain stays composed, teammates are more likely to stay composed. If a captain remains confident, confidence spreads through the team. Building team culture. Every successful team has a culture. Culture is often described as the way we do things here. It's the attitudes, habits, standards, and behaviors that define a team. Captains play a big role in shaping that culture. Let's look at basketball as an example. Many championship teams are known for their strong locker room environments. Players support one another, hold each other accountable, and prioritize team success over individual stats. Those environments don't happen by accident. Leaders create them. The same applies in lacrosse. Captains help determine whether a team becomes connected or divided. They influence whether players support one another or completely go against each other eternally. They help establish expectations for effort, respect, and accountability. One of the simplest ways captains build culture is by making every teammate feel valued. Not everyone gets equal playing time. Not everyone scores goals. But everyone contributes in their own ways. When captains acknowledge those contributions, team unity grows stronger. We're going into a very, very deep topic. Accountability without authority. One challenge many captains face is learning how to hold teammates accountable. Being captain doesn't mean you're the coach. You don't have the authority to make the roster decisions or determine playing time. Instead, your influence comes from respect. The best captains don't demand accountability. They model it. If they make a mistake, they own it. If they need to improve, they admit it and work on it and becomes 3 times better from it. They honestly create trust. Once trust exists, teammates become more receptive to feedback. In many ways, accountability starts with self-awareness. Before asking teammates to improve, great captains ask themselves. Before asking teammates to improve, great captains ask themselves, am I meeting the standard myself? Thank you for listening to today's podcast on how captains lead their teams in lacrosse and the leadership lessons we can learn from other sports. See you next time. This is our Shot at Athletics. I'm RJ Oakley. Thank you.